rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now. Waiting for the opportune time to show 'em this new power of mine. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now. Waiting for the opportune time to show 'em this new power of mine. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now. Waiting for the opportune time to show 'em this new power of mine. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now. Waiting for the opportune time to show 'em this new power of mine. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wailing Woods is where we landed. We're till rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie High like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now. Waiting for the opportune time to show 'em this new power of mine. are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wayland Woods, where we landed. Till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wayland Woods, where we landed. We're till Rose are next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katy high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. Wheeling Woods where we landed, with 2 rows of necks to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie Hike, we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Unplugged Unfiltered. It is good to be back. I know we missed last week, but we were
in prison.
Got
out.
And
got our ankle monitors on.
yeah, and now we're on the run.
And we're
But we're gonna do that live in front of everybody. So no, anyways, we were at you were doing a speaking thing,
right,
for a company, and I was exhibiting for the same meeting for that company. So it's good to be back, and we're excited. This is honestly a little bit of this comes from this last week, and some of the things that I heard, some of the things I've talked to people about, some of the experiences that we had when it came to exhibiting and showcasing your item, the do's, don'ts, and the oh shits.
There was some holy smokes, actually spent money to be here, and that's your display.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. And the excitement that came from some of those people were just they didn't ever get out of their chair.
They did. Pretty sad.
Anyways, it was a lot of good experience, a lot of fun moments, and we're excited to have a conversation with everybody about how do you showcase your products, and whether it's software, whether it's heck, it can be real estate, it could be popcorn at a farmer's market,
flavored honey,
jellies.
We have a farmer's market here in Liberty, Missouri on Saturdays, and you walk around all the booths and stuff, and there's everything there, and the people that are there they've been doing it a long time. They're very good at what they do. So it's kind of fun to see that.
Absolutely. Your mic is giving you some issues.
It is giving me a little issues, but we'll get through it.
Yeah. So I think that the big part of showcasing any product, right, is your first impression.
Right.
And especially when you're in a big market, like a farmer's market, there might be multiple people there who are selling honey as an example.
Right.
What makes you different? What does that first impression look like that creates that aha moment and gets people to stop, for you? So when you're walking around a farmer's market, you're walking around a show, or we have the Equip Expo coming up, and you're looking at the booths. What is it about a booth that makes you go, this is pretty incredible, I'm gonna check it out and see what they have?
Well, it's more than just a table with things put on it.
Yeah. So
at a farmer's market, there's lots of obviously vegetables and stuff like this, and as you walk around, flowers, all kinds of things at a farmer's market, and they're all, in most cases, small little business owners they're selling their wares. This is how they're making extra money.
Yeah.
But as you walk around, it's the ones that do the minimalist things. I have a table and I have vegetables on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's others that I have a table that has a cloth on the top of it.
Yeah.
That has some signage, and we are cutting vegetables up and sharing them with you as we
Absolutely.
go. So, there's a lot of things you can do, but I would say again, the big thing again is it doesn't cost much to step it up another level. And I think that's the piece. And, what you're looking for is you're trying to connect with people's senses, depending upon what you're selling. But, if you're selling honey as an example, then have a little stick that you can dip into a jar, keep it clean, and have people taste the honey. People are walking around with that stupid stick. Right?
Oh yeah.
It's all those things that you can do that's really going to have an impact on it. So that's a big piece of it.
Absolutely. Well, and like you said, and starting out, right, if you have a table, it's not that much more to put a tablecloth on it.
Right.
And then
you can go to a Dollar Tree or Dollar General and buy a plastic black one.
Oh, absolutely.
If you want, for like $1. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It just looks like that you've spent some time and given it some thought.
Absolutely. Well, and statistically, people are going to decide within the first 3 seconds if they're going to stop or if they're not going to stop. On top of just the display is how you display yourself. Right. If I am sitting here at my table going, come buy honey,
you scare me. I'm not even going to come near your table.
First impression to me is going to be like, okay, well, you don't actually want me to buy your honey.
Right.
You're here because the missus told you had to be here.
Right.
Which is understandable at times, but other times it's one of those, my first impression is not just my booth. I think a first impression as part of it has to be the engagement that you create with the first impression. So
it's like anything else in retailing. It's all about that, the first impression. People say, you've got 10 seconds to make a first impression. I say you got that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The moment somebody sees you, they're deciding whether or not they like and trust you or they're comfortable with you. And I think that's the most important thing, especially when you're doing a fair or a trade show or like you were at a national or a dealer meeting.
Yeah.
And so you had a big manufacturer there, they had displays and stuff. So you kind of have to think about what is right for the context that I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm at a small little school gathering and I have an opportunity to put a booth there, I'd probably do a booth different there than I would at, a state fair.
Yes.
You know, so you have to kind of put it in context. You know, you don't want to scream so loud you make everybody else look bad. That's not your purpose there, but you don't want to just fit in, if you know what I mean.
Well, absolutely.
You want to stand out.
Well, I would say that we probably broke that rule a little bit.
You did a little bit
and
with
we
yours.
weren't doing it intentionally, right? It is when we started building our booth, I wanted our booth to be eye-catching. I wanted it to feel different because what we're building in our software is so different than any of the other softwares. And so I wanted our booth to be edgy. I wanted it to be, I don't want to say over the top because it's not really over the top. It's just, it's different. Everything else is kind of white and everyone else has blues and grays and just, bland
Bland would be a good word for
everything we do is black and
white. You got that nice neon green
in there.
Green in there. You know, and that's the other piece again, because you're in, and I just have to say on here, your software was a phenomenal hit.
Yeah.
I mean, there was never a time that you didn't have 15 or 20 people at your booth wanting to know more about this software.
Yeah.
And, and where everybody else's booth. And it was kind of interesting because when we got into the room and we said, well, where's our booth at? It says, pick a spot. Anyone's yours. And we were the first ones there.
Absolutely.
Now, again, that doesn't always happen at fairs and stuff. You have assigned spots. But this particular one didn't. And so they gave us the opportunity to pick the spot that we wanted. And we picked a really good spot. And unfortunately for the other software companies, we were in the middle of the two that were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we stood out. So, but again, it was right. I mean, this was a high dollar event for this manufacturer. They spent a lot of money to get people there, and your booth has to represent that. I don't think the other ones did. I think the other ones looked like they were at a country fair someplace. I mean, I just really do. I think again, you have to put in context, this is the environment that my booth is going to be in. I've got to look like I fit in that. If you're with a company, this particular company, I mean, they sell $10,000-$20,000 pieces of equipment to people that mow their yards. You've got to look like that you would fit into that kind of mindset.
Absolutely.
For people. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, and again, for us, the power of that first impression, right, that started for us, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but because you kind of mentioned this, that started for us the night before.
Exactly.
Right? Because I send an email to the organizer and I say, when can we start setting up a booth? And like, well, booths can be set up starting at 7 a.m. the morning of the event. But we do have the room starting at 9:30 p.m. the night before. I'm like, so you're saying we can set up, and so we built this out and we got our whole booth set up while the person or the company that was putting the event on was setting it up.
Right.
And so when we got there, we weren't scrambling to try to get something set up or try to, organize our booth at all. I mean, the event started at 8:00. The first one of our competitors came in at 7:15. There was already customers
having coffee,
in the
eating
door.
food.
And then the next one finally got finished setting up about 8:30. You were doing
I was doing my launch, my intro talk about leapfrogging. And they were not leapfrogging.
No, they were asleep. I think they might have spent a little bit too much time in the casino the night before.
They could have.
But anyways, it's creating that for us is creating that first impression, and then creating engagement. Right? Engagement is key when it comes to it. And like you said, 10 seconds, right, for someone to decide. And then you said, you think that it's actually shorter than that, and I would agree 100%. And I think the world of TikTok and Facebook and stuff has made people go, nope, don't want it. Don't want it. Don't want it. How quick can I scroll through these reels?
Absolutely.
And so honestly, the people who are really good on social media, and when I'm actually, as we're talking about this, and I didn't write this into any of our talking points, but this goes even into the social media side. If you're trying to put out social media videos, it's that first impression. You have a power of first impression. Absolutely. And you have 3 seconds to hook someone on a video to showcase your product. So but you have to engage. It's storytelling over selling. And I think that the people who are really good at showcasing a product they don't sell you the product. They
I mean, that's like me as a speaker. My job is to. I kicked off the meeting.
Yeah,
and
you did okay.
Thank you. Well, I got paid well. Whether I did okay or not, the check has cleared the bank. I'm safe.
There you go.
But what the company that hired me to do, they wanted me to talk about, the whole theme was Ignite 2026, and
Yeah.
how do we fire up all these dealers and all this stuff for 2026? And the owner of the company, he's a pilot. And so he was playing around, and he said, what would be fun if we did this. We showed them with the Apollo 11 Saturn V rocket blasting off. And so we really kind of built the theme around that.
Yeah.
And so there was a 30-second countdown, then it was 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then the engines fired, and they had the sound tied into it. And then I came up while it was going up in the air, and then it shut down, and then I kicked it off, but it started the story.
Yeah.
So I used that, and you could do that in the booth. I mean, there's no reason that you
100%.
couldn't have a monitor setting there with your story or something that's eye-catching, some sound and stuff going on there. But it tells story. And so my whole start was, let's launch. Now's the time to launch.
Yeah.
And anyways, and I built the rest of my day. I spoke all day long there, but each time I did it, I tied it back to that beginning of, hey, remember we're launching. And the whole theory that I wanted to do was, how do we leapfrog over everybody else? Not make incremental improvements, but how do we leapfrog? And I think that's the thing when you're looking at your booth, so as you look at other booths, what are you going to do that's going to really tell your story? How do you tell your story? And it could be with videos. It could be with people out front. Hey, tell me what you think about this.
Yeah.
Having people talk about it, or, hey, I know you've bought this from us before, Brian. Would you mind telling your story about why you bought this from us? Because you're going to have, at a show, you're going to have a lot of people that are your customers come up and say hi. And, again, let them tell your story. Don't be afraid to pull them into it.
I'm really hoping that all my customers come to my booth and bitch, moan, and complain.
Well,
so I can
they did
what
they did for one of the software companies.
Yeah.
So which is why you built yours, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
How would you like to spend that much money to have just simply a bitch and complaint section?
Well, it's pretty sad that it
was actually kind of funny.
It was 100%. So, but I mean, and you kind of mentioned and hit on this point too, though, is that engagement is you've got to give people stuff that they can touch, taste, try. And we've talked about this in the past on the sales side. That's the death of an unsold dream, right? Is learning how people react, how they want to learn, how they want to understand something, right? Am I auditory? Am I visual? Or am I a kinesthetic person? And when you're having those conversations, and it was really interesting because you had done that kind of talk at the event that we were at, and then that night afterwards, everything was done. There was a group of us that we finished eating, and then we went and for some reason we lost the stage. But after we got done, we all decided to go have drinks, and everybody that was with the group was like, okay, to answer this question, right? And they were trying to figure out if they're auditory, visual, or kinesthetic, and they were doing it with the eyes, right? And so explain to people. So as you guys are setting up a booth, as you're engaging with the customer, what is the easiest way to tell if a person is auditory, visual, or kinesthetic with their eyes?
Well, with their eyes, again, it's just a matter of asking a question. So what brought you to the fair today? Or what brought you to this today?
Yeah.
Ask a question. What brought you here?
Yeah.
Oh, we just wanted to walk around and take a look at things. Okay. Well, if you say, I just want to walk around and take a look at things, and I know you're a visual person.
Absolutely.
So at that moment, then I'm going to connect with you visually, graphically. I'm going to give you something, show you something, take a look at this. How does this look to you? If I say, so what brought you to the fair, the show, whatever it is today? And they go like, well, my wife and I have been talking about coming this for a long time. And, we just talked about it this morning. We decided we'd do it.
Yeah.
And so I says, well, here, I'm going to have you try this. Tell me what you think of this.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm going to engage them auditorily. And again, if they're kinesthetic, and I say, gosh, what you brought here today? Oh, we just wanted to come out, kind of get a feel of things and just walk around. And, this place has got good vibes. Now I know you're kinesthetic.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, well, here, hold this for me.
Yeah.
Right. Touch this, experience this.
Absolutely.
So that's the piece of it. You have to go back and say, okay, well, what's this person? How do they process information? We talked about that, I don't know, several weeks ago. Maybe at some point we'll need to bring it back again. But, that's what I do when I'm speaking. I understand that I had 200 plus people in that group, and when I'm creating a talk, I don't know who's visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So I have to make sure when I'm doing things,
Yeah.
I'm pulling all three senses in
Yeah.
on everything I do. I take something and I explain it one way, then I go back and I say, so let's talk about that for a second. I say, so how do you guys feel about that? Put your hands up if you feel good about that.
Yeah.
So when I'm speaking, I'm constantly pulling all of those senses in. Plus, if you remember when I started off, we wanted to talk about the importance of vision.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get everybody understanding that we got on the moon because President Kennedy had a vision that he cast in 1962. We're going to, before the end of the century, or before the end of the decade, we're going to put a man on the moon and take him back. And I also, as a part of that, I wanted to create instantly some crowd interaction.
Yeah.
And so then what I did is I said, I want everybody to stand up and close your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. So immediately everybody had to get their butts out of their chairs, and they didn't have to, but I told them to with a forceful voice. And they were afraid to sit there. I said, now what I want you to do is I want you to point to what you believe is north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And some people pointed up. That's the sky. That's not actually north. Okay. Everybody pointed in different directions. They all had their eyes closed. So they didn't have any idea what they were doing. And then I said, okay, everybody open your eyes, but keep pointing in the direction you're pointing at.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I took a young man up front and I gave him a compass.
Uh-huh.
I said, now I want you to take the compass and show everybody where actually north is.
Yeah.
Okay. And about 90% of the people were wrong.
Yeah.
And it was not up.
Yeah.
Okay. North did not come up. But again, so, what I always try to do when I'm speaking is how do I engage a group of 200, 300, 400 people? I want them all to do what I need them to do at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's a part of what I think you have to do, Brian, as a part of your storytelling. I create something that, if I had a group of people standing outside of my booth, what could I do to take 30 people and engage them?
Yeah.
Right. What could I do to take 10 people and engage them? And I think that's a part of it. And then you have a story that you're telling. And so you want to do that engagement and have that engagement tie back into the story. I want them to understand how much easier it is when everybody is focused on the same vision. We're all trying to go north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my point is we have to have a vision. And if everybody's pointing north, that's where we're going to go. Everybody in the room, 200 people, are all pointing in different directions. And then we go and then we wonder why we can't get anything done. So anyway, I think that's a part of the storytelling.
Well, and with that too, it comes to that point of, you don't have, the best setups aren't always the fanciest. Mm-hmm. They're the most interactive, and they're the interactive to every different type of learner, or every different type of engagement, know? And so, as you guys are working on booths and expos and shows, or my real estate friends who are selling real estate, I can walk someone through a house, right? And it's great. We're like, oh, can't you see your kids playing out here? Can't you see this? Well, you're touching the visual people,
right?
But what do you think it would sound like to hear the kids running around upstairs?
Absolutely.
Now I have this.
Absolutely.
Hey, why don't the kids go take a run outside?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I've got kinesthetic. It's like, well, let's go outside in the backyard and play with the kids for a minute.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of even real estate agents too, their expo is
it's an open house. It's a showing. Absolutely.
But that is
their fare.
Yeah.
Right.
It is. And I think that, again, making sure that you're talking to your sellers in the way that they communicate the best,
right?
And understand that, especially if you're talking to a husband and wife, there's a good chance they're not the same. And so
that's why they're in therapy.
Yeah. Well, and it's
you never tell me you love me anymore.
Yes.
Well, can't you see? Isn't it apparent? Open your eyes.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to show you?
Do you not listen to me? No. But it's taking that, and if you see the husband is more of that kinesthetic person, and say, hey, why don't you go walk out into the garage and look around, and go get a feel for it.
Get a feel for the garage. Yeah. Or go get a feel for the backyard. Right?
Yeah. And if the wife is more on the visual side, it's like, just look around as much as you want, go, I guess you wouldn't be go explore, but
sure you would. That'd be great for a bit.
Go take
a look. Come up here. I want you to look out this window. What do you see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, it looks so peaceful.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, that I think that's the thing. And this has been a little bit of a thread, but we're really talking about communication all the time.
Yeah.
And that's a part of it. And if you don't understand, that there are visual people, there are auditory people, there are kinesthetic people. And if you're not adjusting what you're doing to reflect that, like I say, when I'm speaking to a big group of people, I have to make sure that my whole thing is touching all of them, because my goal at the end of them is to have them stand up and give me a standing ovation. No, I kind of trick them into doing it. So, what I do, I've never, ever not done a speech and got a standing ovation.
There you go.
It's because, and they don't know they're getting ready to do it for me, but I trick them into it and they all laugh and have fun. And it's kind of funny. But I would just say again, but my goal, I have to have 200 people engaged for, I spoke 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I got 6 hours with 200 people with breaks and lunch in between and all the stuff like this. And I have to keep them engaged all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And I got to wrap it up with a motivational piece.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to be motivational all the way along, but I still got to save my best stuff to the very end.
Yeah.
Because I got to have them walk out going like, oh my God, that was awesome. And that's it. And again, my setup is, it's just me up front, and I got a PowerPoint and a microphone.
Well,
so I don't have any fancy stuff. So it's got to be me.
Yeah.
That is the show.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Well, and you are exhibiting yourself and you create that first impression because within the first 30 seconds, people are laughing. They're all like, oh my God, that was hilarious. You get them engaged, you get them standing up, doing something. That's creating that first impression. Because I've gone into a lot of seminars before, and within the first 30 seconds, you go, hi, my name is this. And you're like, dear God, I have to sit through this for 2 hours. And I don't pay attention from that point on. Right. But if I'm engaged, it's like, okay, what's he going to say next? That's
exactly.
Funny. What's he going to, and then you start really picking up on those points.
Exactly.
I think it's great. I will say that Dave, our loyal listener, Dave, sent us a comment, and his thoughts on expos is be weird enough. It makes people curious, but not so weird. It drives them away.
That's great.
I do love that advice.
Right.
Dave, unfortunately, you won't be attending this expo with us.
Yes, he should be.
I know. So
I like that.
No, it's great. But let's talk about. So we talked about that first impression. We talked about engagement over perfection. But what are the failure moments that you see a lot of booths at expos, at shows, at farmers market? What are some of those things that you see as a common failure or mistake that you see at booths?
Well, I think I would say the most common is that there are people at the booth that really do not like people. Okay. And I'm saying that because, again, I know they don't like people because they are sitting in a chair behind a table, and a table is a natural barrier.
Absolutely.
So basically, if I'm sitting in a chair behind a table, I'm saying, I really don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay, do not engage me. Okay, you did engage me. Oh God, can I help you?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Here, do you want a fan? Do you want a balloon? I just really want to get you out of here as quickly as I can.
Absolutely.
Because I really do not like people. So I would say that's probably the biggest failure that I see most people do. You're never setting. And I know, man, you were busy all night. I tell people I was on my feet for 6 hours for the most part. I was exhausted when I was done. I'm tired. I'm speaking and moving, talking and doing all this stuff. But again, it doesn't make any difference. That's what I get paid to do. And it's the same thing with you. When, as I was speaking, people were there, you guys had a chance to sit down. But when I was not speaking, right, all the other stuff going on, you're on your feet all the time.
Absolutely.
So number one, get comfortable shoes
100%,
as you're doing it.
Yes.
But I think that's the big one I see is people, they should be in front of their display.
Yeah.
Their signage should be to a point, it's like yours. It's over your head. I could see Triton a long way away.
Yeah.
It wasn't below you. It wasn't blocking you. So I think those are some things that people do. I think a lot of people give away stuff.
Yeah.
When we do our booth, we'll have a booth at the Equip Expo, and we always like Kubota. We do a lot with Kubota, and when we do our booth at Kubota, we give away candy.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't give away cheap ass candy.
Yeah, here's a dum-dum.
We give away full-size candy bars.
Yeah.
Okay, so like at Kubota last year, we brought in probably 600 full-size candy bars. And when people come up to our booth and they'd say, what do you have? I says, hey, here's a candy bar.
Yeah.
Like, can I have one? I go, yeah, it's full-size. Nobody does full-size candy bars. And we probably spent, I don't know, maybe $300 on full-size candy bars. We were the talk of the crowd. People go, oh my God. My buddy was over here said, you guys are giving away full-size candy bars, right? Now these leads to us are worth probably $5,000 to $6,000 a piece. Because that's the other thing you have to figure out. You have to figure out what's a lead worth to me? What's a person that interacts with me worth? and I'm sitting there going like, okay, I'll trade out $1 candy bar for a $5,000 lead.
Yeah. All day, every day.
All day long. And everybody else is giving away those little things that you give kids at Halloween, those little things like this. Okay, you look cheap. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the other thing. If you're going to give stuff away, give away good stuff.
Yeah.
Give away stuff that's fun, that's big, that's meaningful, not cheap junk.
Yeah.
Because people will start talking, where'd you get that from? Oh man, I got that from that booth over there. Think I could get one? Yeah, just go over and ask them. They'll give you one.
Yeah.
And I tell people, so we spent maybe $500 maybe on that. But let's say you're doing a fair, like a street fair, something like that. And so maybe it's a couple of days. So you spend $1,000 on candy. Nice candy.
Yeah.
Right. Big candy bars, full-size candy bars. And if a kid says, could I have another one? Go, dear God, you can have as many as your parents will let you have. Because I always tell people again, if you make the kid happy, you make the parents happy.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. I can DoorDash more candy bars from Target.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I've done that before. So I think that's the piece is if you're going to give away something, number one, it shouldn't have your name on it. And I know that sounds odd.
Yeah.
But if you're going to give away something, don't have it with your brand on it, because I know this just is a marketing piece for me.
Yeah.
And I want something, again, that's sweet, that's like I say, candy, you can't go wrong with candy.
Yeah.
And if you got kids that are, are diabetic and things like that, you have to keep those in mind, because I've got, my your sister, my oldest daughter, she's diabetic. So there's things that you can't do. So then keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
Right. Say, okay, I'm diabetic, I can't have that. Well, you can have this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So that's some of that special stuff.
Here's some tofu.
No, even that people would just as soon die from diabetes as eat tofu. But I'm just saying, again, there's a lot of things you can get out there. There's a lot of like chip packs and stuff that are really set up for diabetics. That's really good stuff.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know. To me, Brian, that's the big piece. If you're going to give something away, make it significant. Don't look like, the guy that says, well, I didn't give this crap away last year at Halloween.
Yeah.
So I brought it to the fair.
I brought it to the fair.
Maybe these dogs will eat the food, so I just go back again. If you're going to be there, don't be afraid to invest the money in some really good giveaways.
Yeah.
And do things like, I think about, I don't know what they're called. I should, but the little paddle with the ball that you can hit.
Yeah.
Airplanes. You can buy balsa wood airplanes for probably 30 cents a piece in packages. Dear Lord, give those things away to kids. There's nothing better going like, where'd you get that plane at?
Yeah.
I got it over there at that booth, and you can buy probably 100 of those things for, I don't know, $20.
Yes.
But think bigger, think cooler, think nicer, not the stupid ass squeezy stress ball that's got your logo on it, or a little cooler that you can put your beer in.
Koozie.
And I just throw that crap away. I want something to satisfy my hunger or my energy right now.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that's what I would do. I mean, I think again, it's don't go cheap on your giveaways, and get your butt out from behind you. Push your table to the back, create room up front to where you can go up there and engage with people. And if you don't like people, don't go to the damn show.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Okay. Right. Stay away. You'd be better off to have a booth with free giveaways.
Oh, yeah.
You'll probably get more business people to drop your name in here because they didn't have to interact with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and Dave just actually asked a question. He goes, do you find that raffles are good or are they a waste?
Raffles are good to get names.
Yeah.
Okay. So you always have to keep in mind, when you're doing a fair or show or anything like that, your number one objective is not to sell product. Your number one objective is to get data for your marketing. And so we talked about this. I forget, maybe it was earlier on in our first series, because we've done like 400 of these now, I think.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Getting close to that.
Round it up.
Round it up. Yeah, round it up by 100. Anyway, so your number one goal when you're doing a show is, it's okay to sell things, but what I really want to do is create my marketing list. Okay, because these are people now that I'm going to start doing marketing to, emails and text and things like that. So again, so the lead to me is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And so the other thing you have to figure out, Brian, is what's the lead worth? And a lead is just a body that has a pulse and can fog a mirror. Warm body has a pulse and can fog a mirror. And those turn into ultimately customers. Well, how many leads do I have to get one person to buy from me more than one time?
Yeah.
Because that's always what you're trying to do in business. I want you to continue like yours. Do you want them to pay for it every month?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want them to have it buy 1 month and go, well, that really sucked. I don't want that anymore. Especially since you don't have a setup fee. Right?
Yeah.
So that was a really expensive customer that you onboarded.
What?
But again, so that's the piece of it. And you have to figure out, well, how much is a lead worth, and what am I willing to give away to get those in there? You guys gave away a cooler.
we did a Yeti.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of the name
Yeti
of it.
cooler.
And that's a very expensive cooler, and people are willing to put their information on there to get that cooler.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what the cooler cost, but I'm guessing a few $100 anyway, or more. I mean, it was a beautiful cooler, but people are willing to do that. I'm going to give you my information.
Yeah.
Right. And in the hope that I'll win that cooler.
Yeah.
Okay. You have no hope you're going to win it because we've already picked out who we like best before we pull the name. But there's no such thing as a random drawing.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, but I think that's it. So let's say that a customer is worth $100 to you, and it takes 10 leads to get you one customer.
Yeah.
So each lead, then, if I took $100 for the customer and I divided it by the 10 leads it took me to get to the customer, each lead is worth $10.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you have to think about this. So, so how many customers do I need? How many leads do I need? If every lead is worth $10, every time somebody ripped the bottom off of that thing and put it in that cooler for you, it was worth a lot more than $10 to you. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm just saying again, so you say, okay, so I spent a couple $100 on a cooler, right? A really nice cooler, but it got me 300 names of people.
Yeah.
And each name is worth $10 to me. They won't all buy from me, but it takes 10 of them, right, to get one person that buys from me, and that person will buy from me for years and years and years. So if each one of them is worth $10 and you got 300 in there, that's $3,000 worth of business for a cooler that cost you $300.
Yeah.
Make that trade all day long.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, and that's what, for us, with the giveaways, we went pretty big on giveaways.
You did. You gave away $45,000 worth of stuff.
It ended up being actually more than that because we added another one in there because we were just going to do 1 6-month. We ended up adding another one in there. So it ended up being about $70,000.
Yeah. And so the trouble is you gave away stuff that people were going to buy from you anyway. But that's okay. The people that got them are going to be, they're the people that talk.
Absolutely.
So it's good.
Well, and the exciting part of that too is, especially as we're building, right? We're something brand new. This would be like someone going to a farmer's market to sell honey and no one's ever heard of honey.
Right.
Hey, I've heard of molasses. Is it the same thing?
Oh no, molasses sucks. This is honey.
This is pure, all natural honey.
Yeah. Molasses comes out of trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trees suck.
Yes.
Bees, sweet nectar.
Yeah. So, but we had to build this excitement and start, really building up. Okay, people are going to start talking about Triton, right?
Right.
And no one knew what it was, and that was actually one of our failures that we kind of did during our show.
But it was a soft launch. That's why you did
it was a soft launch, but no one knew what Triton was. No one knew it was a dealer management system, because we didn't have it put anywhere that it was a dealer. Right. And so everyone was
Jesus, how stupid are these people?
I know.
Right? Do you not go to a website and check this stuff out?
Yeah. And so it was all like, so does this integrate with our current software? Are you guys just selling the kiosk? Are you like, it was like,
that's right. That's why we call it the soft launch.
Yeah. We have rethunk all of that. We have new banners on the way. We got to figure out.
But to your point, I mean, you talk about, I give away $70,000 worth of stuff, but keep in mind, a customer for you that stays with you for 10 years is worth $350,000.
Oh yeah.
So $70,000 seems like a lot. You have to put it back in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If I have one of these people do this, and all the people that got it, I've worked with.
Yeah.
Right. And they're the people that go out and talk to other dealers about this. I mean, they're sitting on the dealer advisory councils. I mean, you couldn't have given them out for free to better people for 1 year.
Yeah.
And you and I both know once they get the software, they're never going to go back to what they had before.
Well, and again, the other thing that we did, right, is this is what the retail value of it is.
Right. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Oh, you gave away $70,000.
Yeah. It actually cost me $12. Yeah. And that's because Dave works cheap. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Dave is like a $10.95 an hour.
Yeah.
employee.
I'm pretty sure that's what he is not. But
I'm thinking about giving him a raise to 15 and see if he'll come to work for me.
There you go. he just LOL'd you. So, Dave, you have a job offer.
Yeah, $15 an hour, and I'll furnish lunch for you every day.
Plus, you get free large candy bars.
You do free large, as many as you want, my friend. I'll put them on your desk every day.
So, but no, I mean, but there's a lot of common failures or mistakes that people make. The key, though, is as you're doing it, is learning from that, right? And saying, okay, I'm not going to make that mistake again, right? I'm not going to show up to sell honey and not actually have any honey. Like,
Right,
you're
right.
like, oh, damn.
Damn, I forgot that part.
Probably.
But I got the spoons. I got the
I
little
do-
wooden spoons,
I
but I
do have
forgot
the
the honey.
spoons.
Yeah.
So,
But again, that's kind of what you learned, as you went through it. You and I know that Triton DMS, dealer management system,
yes.
is all inclusive. It's
Yeah.
everything. There's nothing more that you need. It is your phone system. It is your CRM. It is your texting platform. Human resources. It does everything. The challenge is that we knew that.
Yeah.
Dave probably knew it.
Yes.
My best
I
guess is.
guarantee Dave knows it.
So, but the challenge is, that's the other thing is you make an assumption that everybody else knows what you know,
Yeah.
and that's a fault.
Yeah.
And so again, but again, you did a soft launch. You learned.
Yep.
You still had tons of people there. When you go to the big show down in Louisville at Equip, you'll have all this stuff worked out.
Yeah.
But again, it's just a part of it, I've been doing this for 40 years. And even as a speaker, I mean, I don't do it so much anymore, but I used to record every speech I did, and I would go back and listen to it and go like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
That really sucked. That was confusing. I don't do it anymore because I've been doing it so long, but I used to do that all the time. And I think it's the same thing, have somebody outside of your booth with their phone camera on and watching how people are interacting with you, and learn from those things. I mean, there's just so much that you can get from that.
Absolutely. Well, and I think with that, one of the things that you also have to look at, and something that we learned very heavily for our soft launch was, what is that quick pitch look like?
Yeah.
What is the most common questions? Because we debriefed after the show and said, hey, these were the most common questions that people asked me, right? And we were 15, 20 deep all the time. And then when I talked to Michael, our CRO, he goes, well, these are the questions. And they happen to be the exact same question.
Right.
And so we came back and said, okay, so as we go to Equip, everyone needs to understand how to answer these. It's that quick pitch.
Right.
People go, well, what is this about? Well,
Right.
We're a dealer management system, but we handle your CRM, we handle your accounting, and we also handle your parts sales and service. And people go, okay, and it's that a quick, but we also know that the most common questions were accounting and CRM. Those were the two biggest questions that we got asked. And so our quick pitch had to adjust and go, well, we're Triton, we're a new dealer management system. We're DMS and we handle this, and this. And people go, well, can you show me more?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you just named 6 things, and
6 pain points.
All 6 of those are pain points that I hate about my current software. So.
Well, I go back to the honey again, because I have a place at the Liberty Festival that I buy honey from.
Oh yeah.
They got all these different kinds of honeys there. But again, and they do a great job. I mean, they're displaying, they're doing the tasting, and they're doing the stuff like this. And you can buy it there, and it's it's phenomenal. But again, I have never worked with them, but if I were selling honey, I would say, guys, Brian, what's your biggest concern about your health?
Yeah.
What's your biggest concern about this? And then if you're selling honey has so many wonderful medicinal properties to it. So again, I think it's taking whatever you do and say, well, it's kind of like what you said. What's your biggest concern about this?
Yeah.
As I've been telling people about your software, I tell people, they say, well, why would I want this? And I said, well, what would happen if you didn't need to hire experienced employees? All you need to do is hire somebody that had good people skills.
Yeah.
They go like, well, God, that'd be great. Well, that's what the software does.
Yeah, absolutely.
The software is the intelligence.
Yes.
Okay. I don't need people that's got 20 years of experience looking at parts. Triton can look up parts.
Yes.
I need somebody that is good with customer facing skills.
100%.
I can find those all day long for you. And they're not costing me, like Dave, like $12 an hour.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, but I think that's it. You have to look and say, okay, what's the pain point? Figure out what the pain point is.
Yeah.
And again, the good way to do that is just ask people, hey, why do you buy this from me? It's like the guy at the fair, him, that does all of the farm raised beef and
oh yeah.
I can't think what his name is now, but I mean,
yeah, Farm Fresh Meats.
Yeah,
yep.
Is that the name?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a great name for Farm Fresh Meats.
It
It's
is,
called Farm. But I mean, he's busy all the time. I mean, he sells out everything because everything is farm raised, farm fresh. It's more expensive than you're going to buy in a store, but everybody wants stuff that's not got hormones injected to it, all this crap into it, and he sells out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't, you need to put an order in before he comes to there.
Absolutely.
So he's got it held for you, or you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And again, so that's kind of the piece you're doing there. And he just has, he has a trailer that's a refrigerated trailer.
Yep.
There it's got his big, vinyl siding on, stuff like this. But he's just
Oh,
I don't know
absolutely.
how many thousands of pounds of meat he sells on a Saturday from 8 o'clock till noon, but
A lot. Well,
it's a lot.
and the other thing is, and he has his quick pitch built into those too,
Right.
because if someone goes, okay, I need some chicken, and then he goes, perfect. I have this chicken. It's from a farm in Lathrop. This is the farmer's name. This is how, and then you go, holy crap,
Exactly.
you know your stuff.
It's all local. It's all locally grown. He knows them all.
Yeah, he does an incredible job. And I used to buy a lot of stuff from him, but
You started raising your own stuff.
now I have an abundance of my own stuff that I am.
But it's kind of the same thing. He has a great story.
Yeah.
The lady that sells honey has a great story. There's a lady there that takes silver spoons and makes them into rings and stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
A great story. She talks, oh yeah, I got this set of spoons from this estate sale. These spoons were like 80 years old. There was this da-da-da.
Yeah.
And she has such a wonderful story when you go like, damn, I don't want to buy that spoon, that ring spoon.
Uh-huh.
But again, I mean, she sells tons of that stuff because she has a story with how she got what she uses for materials to do it with, and people love her story. So
Absolutely.
I think that's a piece of it.
Well, and one of the things I think people have to remember too is you can have an incredible first impression. Your engagement can be great. You can learn from your failures, but there's a whole lot of mundane realities that come to it, and you can't skimp on the mundane realities, right? It's that the grind of hauling gear in, setting things up, tearing down, and that's again goes back into our engagement, our first impression, and common failures. Because as we talked about, right, I figured out when is the earliest I can get in here to set up, because I want everything set up as cleanly as possible. I want to do a dry run through everything, where everybody else was like customer, for us, the customers were walking in, they were walking right past these other companies' booths
because they were empty tables.
And
these are country people.
Yeah.
If the meeting starts at 8, they're going to be there at 7 expecting coffee in Danish.
Oh, absolutely.
So they don't, just because the meeting starts at 8. At 8 o'clock, they've been there 15 minutes waiting for the meeting to start.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's just knowing your audience.
And what are they doing? They're standing around drinking coffee, looking for something to look at.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
hey, come on over.
I have a display. I have a kiosk.
Absolutely.
I have iPads. I have
absolutely.
all of
and that's it. I think that's the other piece is, if you're going to do whatever you're going to do, show up early. If you don't think you can get in earlier, you would be surprised because there's probably somebody else setting up. It's kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start setting up at 9:30. Well, can we come in? Sure. We don't care.
Oh,
okay,
absolutely. Like, you want to be there at 9:30 at night to set up?
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely. We don't want to start at 7,
Yeah.
right? Because you got a lot of technology you're plugging in there. So I think again, that's a piece of, but it is a grind.
Yeah.
A lot of small businesses, this is how you're going to get your leads. This is the game. You're out there, you're in front of people doing that, and you don't maybe not have to do it forever.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have to do it forever with yours, but in the beginning you have to. This is just the game you have to play.
Yeah.
And again, and it is wearing.
How many times do you get asked the same question? Yeah, as a real estate agent, right? They're doing an open house.
So is this the bathroom? Yeah, you probably noticed there was a shower and a stool in there. We normally call those bathrooms. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and you'll notice the kitchen has a refrigerator in it.
Yeah, exactly.
How many times are realtors asked us?
But you've got to respond to it with consistency,
exactly.
And that's something again that is that mundane reality that you don't think about. It's like, okay, I've answered the same question 15,000 times.
Yeah.
I've done it the exact same way.
Yeah.
And you've got to stay energized in that, because every time I answer that question, I want them to feel like that is the first time
I've ever heard it.
And I'm like, no, what? That is a great question. Yeah. You were just standing behind the person that I just told the answer to.
Yeah.
I was talking loud enough. I know you heard them.
But let's try it again. Let's try it again.
Okay.
But because again, when you're doing, it's like speaking, if I tell people, if I'm not excited, you're not going to get excited.
Yeah.
So my number one job as a speaker is for me to be excited. So I have to be around things that are motivating, exciting, and stuff like that. And again, I think it's the same thing for shows. You can't be around people that are bitching, whining, moaning,
Yeah.
complaining, hating life.
Uh-huh.
You have to go, cast away, devil, go away, right? And you got to be around people that are excited to be there. So, if I were setting up a booth or I was doing it, I'd be walking around people like, oh, I'm so excited to be here. I'd be looking for the new ones and say, oh, I'm so excited you're here.
Yeah.
Because that starts firing you up also and doing
Absolutely.
that. Because again, we get our motivation not so much from internal things that happen,
Uh-huh.
but from the external things that we're around. And I think too many people spend too much time around people that just aren't motivated,
Yeah.
and you can't do that at a show. I mean, you're paying a lot of money to be there.
Yeah.
And again, this is your future. This is where you're getting your leads from. So,
Yeah.
it's being excited. You got to do it.
And like you said, I mean, the environmental factors, especially around people, being
Right.
around negative people, but then you also have the environmental factors of shit. It could be really hot.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be really cold.
It is.
You could have a bad booth placement.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. I know I have a downtime here, right? And instead of me going, okay, I've got a 30-minute break. Well, what the hell am I going to do? I'm going to get up and go to where everybody's at. I'm going to go to the lunch spot.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
like, oh, hey, you mind? Would you be okay if I bought your lunch for you today?
Exactly.
And they'd be like, well, you don't have to do that. No, don't worry. It's on my company, Triton. You just
Yeah.
wanted to treat you to lunch.
Right.
People are going to go, so where's your booth at?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, what do you guys do?
Yeah, that $8 lunch could have just earned you a $300,000 customer.
Absolutely. Well, but that's what you have to do. Is if I don't have good booth placement, which I've been lucky to have,
Right.
very good booth placement. But if I didn't have that, I would be going and seeking people out.
Absolutely.
And because I know that if I talk to someone and they go, and I buy them a lunch, right? And they're maybe they run into someone else. I'm like, oh, hey, have you guys heard of Triton? And he's like,
Right.
these guys just came up and bought my lunch. I'm going to go to their booth. You want to come check it out?
Right.
Okay. I bought one lunch and now I've got 2 people coming.
Exactly.
Or maybe I've got 4 people coming. And all it does, it just takes a little bit of time and effort, and thinking outside of the box when it comes to, how you doing?
Again, being an entrepreneur is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this whole podcast is about.
I've never experienced.
I
any
haven't either.
hardships.
Everything for me has been pretty easy for
Yeah.
the last 40 years.
I
I've
know.
actually been shocked that more people don't do what I do
Yeah.
because it's so damn easy to get started.
I've read Mike and Cass's book, Shoveling Shit, but all of mine's been just
I just
pot
don't
of gold
find
that
anything applies. I really no. There's nothing in that book that I read that seemed to apply to me.
Yeah, no, it's
in
all been
the 40 years I've been
rainbows, butterflies, and pots of gold. At the end of it.
unicorns show up every day in my office.
Yeah,
So
apparently with full-size candy bars.
with full-size candy bars. So I go back again, I mean, that's kind of the whole purpose of you and I saying, hey, let's just have conversations with entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
not just entrepreneurs in the world that I play and you play in, but just entrepreneurs. It is hard,
Yeah.
and this is why I keep saying, you got to be around other entrepreneurs like myself, that have been doing it for a long time going, you know what, this too shall pass.
Yes.
Okay. It sucks. I know it sucks,
Yeah.
but you got to do it. And, to make it suck less, let's do these things here. And you got to be around that. Because it does get tiring. It gets old. I know a lot of entrepreneurs. They still work their full-time job, and this is their hope, their dream.
Yeah.
So so I do this on the weekends. Hoping some days this can turn into something full-time.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do this anymore. So don't forget that. Right.
Yeah.
This is not this is your forever thing that you want to do. Your job is what you use to finance it with.
Absolutely.
So keep your excitement about it, keep your passion about it, be around other people. Because when you go to a fair or whatever, there's always people out there that are excited to be there.
Yeah.
Most of them are on drugs. Let's just face it.
Absolutely.
Heavy drug usage. But they're the carnies, that do the rides. Stay off of those.
The people who are operating everything.
Stay away from the operators of the rides, especially the ones that go really fast spinning around with the guys going like take him she's. But I would just say again, it is a grind, but it's what you have to do. There's a price you have to pay for success.
Yeah.
This is a part of it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's that test of discipline. It's that test of patience. It's that test of grit. That will either make you succeed or fail. Right. I mean, this goes back again to, the death of an unsold dream. Right. I can have the coolest product in the world. Right. If no one sees it, then what good does it do? It dies right there. So I think showcasing, whether it's booth, whether it's open house for, real estate, whether it's social media, you're on social media, right? I have to showcase, I have to gain that interest instantly. I have to make sure I make a great first impression. My engagement, especially on social media, people don't look for perfection on social media. They're looking for engagement. Like, draw me in. I want to know you. Why am I following you? Why am I maybe buying a product in your showcase on TikTok, or buying something that you promote on any of these? Was because you told me a story and I relate to you. And then look at your failures and say, oh shit, that video didn't do very good. Okay, why didn't it do very good? What did I miss? And so I think everything happens. This applies to every aspect of an entrepreneur, because I've yet to find an entrepreneur who doesn't sell some type of a product.
Yeah, and I think this goes back to Dave's comment of, you can't be normal. You got to be just a little bit off.
Yeah,
and I don't mean off in a negative way, but I always tell my team, we always want to be about 5 degrees off center. So everything that we're looking at, give it that little twist. And I think that's what Dave is referring to. We have to, when you're doing things, you have to say, okay, how can I twist this just a touch? And I think about, and again, I just did the program on leapfrogging, but our space program was a leapfrog over the Soviet Union. They launched the satellite in 1959. And we said, okay, all we can do is keep up with them. What would happen if we leaped forward and put a man on the moon? So that's called leapfrogging. Tesla did it. Tesla didn't start out with gas engine cars. They went, screw it. We're going to really produce a high-end, high-dollar electric vehicle, and we're going to call it Tesla because that's a badass name.
Yeah.
And Nikolai Tesla was a badass guy.
Yeah. He's done a little bit with electricity.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. And the same thing that Netflix did. Netflix leaped frog over Blockbuster.
Yeah.
They went, screw it. Well, I don't want to go to a damn store to get this. How about if we just, send it to you on a CD? And even better yet, how about if we create a streaming service? iPhone is a leapfrog. I mean, so I think that's a part of what you're looking at, as you're looking at showcasing.
Yeah.
What can you do to leapfrog over everybody else? And again, I think I go back to Dave's comment, which is going to make me want to pay more money because it was a really good comment. But, what can you do that's going to be just set you apart in a unique way, a little bit different?
Yeah.
I think that's the key to it.
Oh, absolutely. And the end kind of to end all with that is turning your showcases into growth, is making sure that because I see this a lot, especially at Equip Expo in Louisville, people go to the expo and what is their whole goal is to get done with the expo so that they can go and drink and then be hungover the next day.
There you go.
Right. And so you've got to make sure that your team that's there.
Most of them go to listen to me.
But
for those that don't, they do go get drunk and I feel bad.
I know a lot of of our competitors that is a very common occurrence.
It is, yeah. But you should not be getting drunk and then going to do your booth the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Because showing up hungover,
it's not a good look.
It's like that goes back to the what the.
Yeah.
Walter as the Walmart, Jeff
get
Dunham's,
your shit and get out.
Welcome to Walmart. Get your shit and get out. Right. That's not the mentality that you want to have.
But
you got to focus and say, okay, I'm here to collect leads. I'm here to gain social followers. I'm here to push out my QR codes, whatever it is to gain those leads. Because the reality of it is a long-term win is always greater than a one-time sale.
Absolutely.
But the caveat to that is it always takes a one-time sale to turn into a long-term.
Absolutely. You got to have the sale to turn it into something long-term. And I think that's a great point. I mean, like I say, you're doing this stuff. And in the beginning, every customer that's a new customer is a one-time customer. Your goal again is to have them have such an experience with you.
Yeah.
That they go back, oh my God, I want to go back and buy meat from that guy again, or I want to buy honey from her again, or I do not want to buy silver jewelry. So, but her stuff is cool. It doesn't look good on me.
It's cool. The story is
at 71, silver spoons hanging out of my ears.
No,
not a good look.
Not something you're
just not a good look. But anyway, she's got a cool story. And again, I think that's the piece of it. Like you said, it's a one-time event now that you're trying to turn into a long-time customer. It's going to come back over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, and then, at the end of all of it, you have to take that time. You have to celebrate your wins.
Right. Exactly.
You have to say, you know what, team, you guys freaking crushed it. Yeah. You did incredible.
Other than you, Dave.
No.
You could have done more.
But
if you did, we would pay you more.
Yeah, we would bump you up to $17.50 an hour.
Exactly. We would take you out of poverty.
Yeah, and I would actually take I'll sponsor McDonald's once a day.
There you go.
But but with that is you celebrate your wins, you learn from your failures, and then you embrace the grind that it that it
absolutely.
takes. Because if you do all three of those things every time that you do a show, it's going to get better. Your team is going to grow as a team.
Right.
And they're going to grow in excitement for what you're doing, because, you know, if they see you as the leader, as the entrepreneur, that having that excitement, having that purpose,
Right.
they're going to go, okay, let's do this. I want to follow behind this.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, but if I, as the CEO, am sitting behind the booth doing this the whole time,
Yeah.
what's my whole team going to do? Well, fuck, he doesn't care. Why do I care?
Exactly. You don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah. If you're gonna lead the company, you got to be out in front all the time. There's never a time that, and you think about the leapfrog thing. You know, whether you like Elon Musk or not, Elon Musk is the leader that's out in front. You know, Tim Cook with Apple, not so much. Steve Jobs with Apple, out in front all the time.
Absolutely.
I used to laugh, and I said, and I'm not a big fan of Apple products. I mean, everybody else in my family has them. I don't. But I would say again, Steve Jobs would shoot himself in the head if there was an Apple iPhone 17.
Yeah.
Okay, because again, he was all about leapfrogging and innovation and stuff like this.
Yeah, let's change it up.
Let's change it up. You know, so and they were the leaders out there, and they're the ones that got their teams fired up. And I don't want to take anything away from Apple, but I just say again, I just know that, you know, the type of leadership that a Steve Jobs or a you know, these other guys that are really on the forefront out there, their teams get fired up.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, they just get fired up with them.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, and that is, again, you lead by example. You create the power of your first impressions. You create that engagement. You live by your failures, and they don't have to be failures. They were just
a step. I mean,
it's a learning process.
Exactly.
Be willing to get in there and do the mundane realities. Again, if me as a CEO, especially getting this all started up, if I go, hey guys, you guys handle the 7-hour drive one way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
you don't
I'll show up at some point, but the booth needs to be set up. It needs to be done. As a startup founder, that's not necessarily something you can do. Them have excitement behind it.
Get your butt in there, drive it with them, be there as a part of it. I did that for years. I don't have to do it anymore. You know, we have a team that does it, but wasn't that I didn't do it, you know, and you were helping me many times. You and I spent many hours in a truck setting up a booth to go to equip. You were helping me with all that stuff, and we were there together doing it. And again, it's not always fun, but that's what leadership is. You know, you got to do those things.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, you know, with when it comes to showcasing, just remember, you're not always showing off a product.
Right.
You're showing off belief, you're showing off energy, and you're showing off consistency to your customers and to your teams. And that's the big thing with that. So
absolutely.
Anyways, this has been great. Dave said he's going to get back to work. He is looking for that raise.
So. I would hope so.
But with that,
he doesn't put in enough time now.
No, yeah, I know. Dave, I can guarantee that I am probably
Dave is the greatest guy in the world. So we pick on Dave.
Well, I can guarantee that Dave always shudders when his phone rings after like 9 o'clock at night, because he knows
I would not answer it just if it were me. I go like, you know what? I start at 7:30 or 8 in the morning. Call me.
Right. No, he always answers it. I'm like, hey Dave, I have a great idea. And he goes,
yeah, there you go.
Okay. Phase 90. I don't know, Dave, what phase are we on? 92 now? Probably. Or something like that. They keep pushing my ideas off and off. But with that, I want to tell everybody, thank you guys. Thank you for the patience that you've had with us as we have missed last week's episode.
We did.
We will do our best not to ever miss another
next
one.
Week, no.
Yeah, but
next week, unfortunately,
unfortunately, we won't be live. But I'm super grateful for everybody that's on here. Dave says yes, we are on phase number 92. So we'll try to get that to 100 by the
by
podcast.
Friday.
By podcast
should be by Friday. If he's really committed, that'd happen by Friday.
Absolutely. So. We've got our 300-year plan. I'm pretty excited about it. So
good.
Anyways, with that, thank you guys so much. I'm Brian. This is Bob, and this has been another fun episode.
It's been great. I love this.
Unplugged, Unfiltered, Behind the Booth.
There you go.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary Wait until they see us now. Waiting for the opportune time to show 'em this new power of mine. When Woods is where we landed, we're 2 rows and next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Greasy Grove will soon be upon us. Katie high like we're sitting on the battle bus. We're closing in and we'll soon claim victory. When Woods is where we landed, we're 2 rows and next to be commended. We're taking down all of those who oppose. Our aim never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now. Waiting for the opportune time to show 'em this new power